What is going on, Jerome's? Happy Thursday. Happy Gophers season opener against Nebraska day. Now, quasi-geographical default Gophers fan, but I'm also more of a fan of how about the under 43? No big deal. But a handful of Vikings storylines to get to, so let's dive on in. Thursday, Vikings news dump. First up is Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins actually been doing really well on the social medias as of late. So Kirk defined himself as nerd swag in a press conference a couple weeks ago, and Nerds, or what the parent company of Nerds, the candy that you had as a kid where it's like really sweet gravel. We're just like, this is fantastic. This is like chewing on the bottom of a fish tank except with sugar. It's great, man. But Kirk put this out on the gram. I was asked in an interview if I had swag and said that I may have nerd swag. So Nerds Candy sent some candy and swag. Little did I know, it's some of our linemen's all-time favorite candy. And, of course, linemen love anything, especially when it's free, man. But who doesn't? That's right. Bradbury, Ezra, and Austin Schlutman, the Dutch pronunciation, getting it on with the Nerds. And I want to say, the Nerds ropes are really, really damn good. Where I don't know what it is, but there's something about the texture of candy when it's a combination of crunchy as well as chewy. Because back in the day, there was these really good Laffy Taffies. I think they were Laffy Taffies, but it was watermelon flavored taffy, and they had candy watermelon seeds in it that were crunchy. Those were so good. Those were so good, man. And see, that's the thing about being a kid, where you're at the municipal pool with no sunscreen, and you're out there for 5 hours with no water, unless you accidentally ingest some pool water, and then you have one of those at the end of the day, then ride your bike home. Woo! I mean, that's living. That is life, man. Absolutely. Speaking of living life, so Kirk Cousins. Again, Kirk is either aloof or the most self-aware person ever, because he's really leaning in, and I think that he's going to monetize this nerd swag stuff, this dad swag stuff. So in a clip from Very Sad Vikings put together by BR Gridiron, so basically Christian Darrisaw, I don't know when this clip was. I mean, this clip could have been during training camp, but Darrisaw's feeding the local media jackals, and Kirk Cousins walks by, and yes, Kirk asked if he's going to meet him at Chili's, and Darrisaw said, "Yeah, I'll be there, Kirko." Now, I would love if this was true, if this is the thing. Now, make this a weekly thing. I'm sure that I don't know where there's a Chili's. I think there's one in Burnsville, near the mall. But rotate around the Chili's in the metro every single, Friday. That would make sense. Have dinner with the offensive lineman at a Chili's. It'd be great. It'd be fantastic, man. Well, although I don't. Is it Chili's or Applebee's that has the $1 margaritas? Either way, I'm in. Now, please. So here's the thing: places like Chili's and Applebee's and TGI Fridays get a bad rap, and I say yes because of the food. The food is sort of whatever. It's it's a national chain, whatever. But if you're just getting apps like the queso, you can't really screw up queso, you can't really screw up guac, you can't really screw up mozzarella sticks, or you can't really screw up wings that are already pre-cooked. You just dump them in the fryer. 17-year-old kid who's high as a kite by then, back in the kitchen, compliments to the chef. And I mean, the beer tastes the same whether you're at a 5-star bar or if you're at Chili's. I don't know, man. Hey, a Northeast is a Northeast. I don't know, babe. I don't know. What I do know is that the Greasy Grimy Green Bay Packers dealing a little bit of espionage. So, Schefter, go. Packers claim tight end Ben Sims on waivers from the Vikings, and defensive back Zane Anderson, blah, blah, blah. So, Ben Sims, UDFA from Baylor, good blocking tight end, had himself a couple of nice catches and blocks during preseason, and the Packers were like, hey, we're going to pick him up and do the tried and true thing of a player that spent time with one of our rivals. We'll pick his brain for intel and just go from there. It's tale as old as time. It's whatever. But I just really hope that Ben Sims isn't a snitch. But he might be a snitch. Although, actually, Ben Sims looks like he looks like Boomhauer from King of the Hill with a perm. I tell you what, man. Kevin O'Connell in the offense, Kirk Cousins, man. Brian Flores, man. So maybe he won't give the Packers anything. Or maybe they just won't understand him. I don't know. Something I do understand is being petty, which is great. Now, screw Wisconsin into the sun, but this is fantastic. So a Milwaukee bar is offering free drinks when Aaron Rodgers and the Jets lose, which is it petty? Yes. Is it funny? Hilarious. Yes. So this bar, Jack's American Pub in Milwaukee, which is Algonquin for the good land, so offering to cover customers' bar tab when Rodgers and the Jets lose this season, which is great. Now, there's a bunch of stipulations, which is kind of dumb, but tabs must be open 15 minutes before kickoff, and the promotion does not include food. In addition, the offer only applies if Rodgers is starting and if the Jets game does not coincide with a Packers game. I don't really understand the coinciding thing. Like, I mean, sure, it'll be busy. Yeah, whatever. The old blah, 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 blah. But either way, I would do it, man. I would do it because, I mean, the Jets actually have a hard-ass schedule, and it's a bit of a free roll where if you just order drinks and, maybe some nachos or something, and if Aaron Rodgers loses, it's fantastic, and then you just paid for nachos, and you're having a good time in Milwaukee, a.k.a. North Chicago. Stick with the Packers. So the Colts drama with Jonathan Taylor is completely stupid, and it's like, hey, he does not deserve to be paid as a top-tier running back, but also we demand a first-round pick. Also, we demand Jalen Waddle. So the Dolphins reportedly have been in looking to trade for Jonathan Taylor Thomas of the Indianapolis Colts, star running back, but there was a second team, allegedly, and then Schefter, go. The mystery team that had trade discussions with the Colts about all-pro running back Jonathan Taylor was the greasy grimy Green Bay Packers. Via Stephen Holder, who's a beat writer for the Colts. Now, this is hilarious. Reportedly, nothing confirmed, but reportedly, A.J. Dillon had been part of the trade talks, but it just such a very unserious franchise. It's okay. I mean, yeah, we as the Vikings and Vikings fans talked about, hey, it would be cool to add Jonathan Taylor, but it doesn't make sense. But Packers are only doing this because they don't believe in Jordan Love, and last year they were a running team, and Aaron Jones is aging out, had to take a pay cut. A.J. Dillon is limited and one-dimensional. So they're like, hey, we need to keep selling tickets. We need to keep booty in the seats. Otherwise, we're going to be playing half of our home games in Milwaukee like we had to do in the 70s. So let's trade for the stupid Badger running back. That'll sell him. Speaking of stupid Badger running backs, man, we got good segues today. For whatever reason, the Vikings reportedly were in on Melvin Gordon potentially joining the practice squad. Jordan Schultz. So after Melvin Gordon had signed with the Ravens practice squad, Schultz, go. I'm told the Vikings, Dolphins, and Colts all make calls about Melvin Gordon, but he elected to stay with the Ravens and join their practice squad. Now, was this before Myles Gaskin? Was this after Myles Gaskin? Don't really know, but if you're a running back 3-4, you got to be able to do multiple things. You got to be able to catch the ball. You got to be able to play special teams. And Melvin Gordon, who's been ruining fantasy teams for a number of years, nah. Some good news. So the Vikings did place running back Kene Nwangu on injured reserve short term. Hopefully he's going to return week 5 against Kansas City Chiefs. But, some candidates that potentially could have been placed on injured reserve when the window opened was TJ Hockenson and Lewis Cine. Now, a lot of people theorize this because Hockenson has been dealing with the ear infection as well as back issues. Lewis Cine had that soft tissue injury the week of the Cardinals joint practices, and he's been missing ever since. And the fact that the Vikings kept 4 tight ends, which is an anomaly, as well as 6 safeties, which is also an anomaly. A lot of people were reading the tea leaves that they were padding the position because they're ready to lose Hockenson or Cine for a minimum of 4 weeks. But, of course, they could be put on injured reserve at any time. But I think it is a very good sign for their ability in the beginning of the season that they weren't immediately placed on injured reserve once that window opened on Wednesday afternoon. But that's it. That's it. I'm going to go celebrate with some Chili's baby back ribs. I mean, the ribs are pretty good. Like, if you're a barbecue snob, yes, fully understand that the ribs are whatever. Like, they don't really get the smoke. And, of course, any barbecue that you have to slather with sauce, it's no bueno. But on a weeknight, if you got a hankering for some stankering, and you can do a lot worse than Chili's. A lot worse. Maybe not much worse. Who knows? But your thoughts are thoughts. Let us know in the comment section below. Vikings Thursday news dump. Subscribe, Venmo. You know what to do. Skol, production value.